I feel about these earrings. I usually don't wear these. It's mostly like stud or hoops, as you guys have seen, just because I feel like they don't look as good on me. But I wanted to give it a try because I did see a Griswold and she had something similar to this, so I was like, I gotta give it a go. So I don't know how I feel about them. I think they look okay, but let's see how I feel towards the end. But I am 26 weeks pregnant and a day. I've never actually filmed a pregnancy update as soon as I turn 26 or that week. It's usually a couple of days after. And right now the baby is about the size of a scallion. He is 14 inches long and is 1.75 pounds in weight. So really big, has grown a lot since the last update. Now, according to the baby center app, the baby can now hear my voice and anybody else that's speaking around us, so that's pretty cool. The baby can now also inhale and exhale amniotic fluid, which is a good thing because it's going to help the baby once it's out and, you know, born, to breathe, because it's practicing right now. So good to go on that. And of course, right now, if you are having a boy, the baby's testicles are descending, which apparently is a 2 to 3 month development. So for the remainder of the pregnancy, it's going to be descending, which I did not have a clue that it took 2 to 3 months. So that is pretty interesting. In regards to weight, I did gain about a pound. I'm 163. So maybe, you know, slowly but surely I will be gaining, you know, the amount of weight that I should be gaining. I think I should gain anywhere from like 10 to 11 pounds. So anywhere from like 170 to like 171ish. Actually, no, because I started off at 167. So it should be anywhere from 177 to 178. Somewhere around there. But so far, so good. We are gaining weight. And symptoms, in the last pregnancy update, I did mention that I am experiencing a lot of a lightning crotch. This time around, like, I am experiencing that, but I am also having my nipples super sore and tender. One time Riley was walking on the bed, I was laying on it, and she accidentally stepped on them, and oh my god, did that hurt so much. I wanted to cry. It was so bad. So there's that, and it's now becoming harder and harder for me to breathe. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just taking a lot of, you know, breathing. How do I want to say it? Like, it's taking a lot to breathe, basically. Especially when I go food shopping with her and I'm wearing a mask. I start feeling dizzy. I'm getting headaches. So it's taking a lot, and I think once I explain to you guys what's going on, I'm just going to have to start using Instacart or the Walmart Drive Up, just so that it's much easier on me and I'm not exerting myself too much. In regards to movements, okay, this baby thinks he's Bruce Lee or something, because he is always kicking and punching, and I just love feeling him move. There's just sometimes, like, you know, with lightning crotch or just sudden movements where I'm just like, oh my god. But it's so beautiful just to feel the baby move. He, especially at night, I feel like he's going to be a night owl because he just loves to move a lot around that time. I don't know if it's because he knows that I'm going to go to sleep and I'm not moving as much. So maybe that's why he feels the need to throw all these sudden kicks and punches. But definitely, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Definitely the baby is moving and grooving. As far as cravings, lately I've been craving a lot of donuts, cream cheese, specifically like cream cheese with some sort of flavor. This week is chives and onions. A couple of weeks ago was lavender and lemon. Pretty weird, but yes, cream cheese. And I think I have on here, yeah, not that I think it is written on here, sunny side up eggs. I don't know why I can handle having sunny side up eggs, but when they're scrambled, I'm just like, ugh, no, get it away from me, I don't want it. far as maternity clothes, technically I haven't gotten anything new since I got the nursing bra from Walmart, and I'll explain why. I wasn't expecting to get this package until mid-July, but I actually got it mid-June, and it is these matching swaddle and maternity robe. As you can see, I've opened it already. I was surprised that it got here so soon. It's from an Etsy shop here called May and Joy. I will link their shop down in the description bar below. But I was just surprised that it got here so soon. And as you guys can see, it is matching with the nursery theme. It's something that I did not know that it was going to happen. I guess subconsciously I was just gravitating towards this print and this theme. So I really do like it. It is pretty big, this swaddle, actually. Like, I'm going to show you guys the noise of the bags. But it is a pretty big one, as you guys can see. Pretty big. And I'll show you how vivid the colors look. Feels really, really nice. And of course, you guys, I do want to put a disclaimer on this. It's not a necessity to get a matching robe or swaddle. It's more of like if you want to splurge on it, more of a luxury, but it's definitely not something that you definitely have to. It's more of like, for me at least, with Riley, I didn't take any pictures at the hospital. There's only one, and it's literally hours later after I gave birth to her, and I'm busted as heck. And it's the only hospital picture I have, except for like another one where it was like maybe a couple of minutes before I went to have my C-section. Those are the only two pictures I have in the hospital. And I know, like, when you're in the hospital, you're not thinking about pictures or vlogging or anything like that, but I felt like those are the only two pictures, and that's only the only two that I'm going to show her. I don't know, I just felt like, hindsight looking back, I felt like I should have taken more and be a little bit more presentable, I guess, because the only thing I had was like bare minimums, not even a comb. It was just, I just looked busted, you guys. But this time around, I kind of want to be a little bit more presentable. Obviously not be, you know, have a full beat face, but at least have like a tinted lip balm and a brush, which is something that I didn't bring with me to brush my hair. So this is something that I just wanted to do out of my own accord. Definitely, if it's not something that you want to do, you don't have to. And before we get off this topic, I do want to show you guys the robe. It's pretty big. My sister helped my mom order it for me, and she said that I believe they got this one in a size small medium, but it's huge, you guys. I will show you guys how it looks on me. But it's huge. It's definitely really comfortable and big, as you guys can see. And as I showed earlier, it does bring a little, I don't know what to call it, like a sash, a ribbon, I don't know, to tie it up and make it more fitting. So if you guys are interested, I will leave the Etsy shop link down below in the description. I do want to note with this Etsy shop is that it has different colors and different prints. They have tie-dye. They also have like florals, black, purples, greens, you name it. But they also have the option of whether or not you want just the matching set like I do, or if you want the matching set with a hat, bow, or a headband. So definitely check them out. Not just because they have those options, but also because I felt like they were the most reasonably priced out of like every Etsy shop that I've seen and Amazon when it comes to a matching set of a maternity robe and swaddle. I've seen a couple that are like $60, $75, $85, and it's just crazy to spend that kind of money. That's why I say that getting this is not a necessity. It's more of a luxury of whether or not you want to have the set and take nice pictures, or if you just want to grab a robe from Walmart or Target and just any old swaddle that you have for your baby. You know, it's just whatever you want to do. Like I said, it's not a necessity. It's more of a splurge and a luxury mood. Guys, where do I even begin? The last couple of weeks, I am going to be quite frank and honest with you guys, hasn't been the best for sure. I've been moody. I've been feeling frustrated, definitely experiencing a lot of just being angry. I don't know if angry is the word, it's more so like upset, feeling impotent, and definitely just not like the nicest moods to be feeling when you're pregnant. And I know usually a lot of people when they're pregnant and in their pregnancy updates say, oh, I'm really happy, I'm excited, or I'm just so elated and delighted. And I know those are like the most normal things for people to say. Not a lot of people are quite as honest and frank in admitting that they're feeling upset or just being moody, that they don't have a lot of patience like they used to, or anything like that. I don't know if it's their intentions to paint kind of like a rainbows and butterflies for pregnancy, but I'm definitely quite frank and honest when it comes to mine, and that's how I've been feeling for the last couple of weeks, and especially the last week and a half to almost 2 weeks. It's definitely a lot to do with what's going on right now, not just like in the world, but like in our personal lives as well. And I am so sorry if you guys hear any fireworks going around. It's in the background. But as I was saying, it's definitely has a lot to do with what's going on in the world, and more so what's going on in our personal lives. Now, I did delay and prolong making this video just because I didn't want to come on here and start crying. I was super emotional when I found out this unexpected news. So I just didn't want to be on camera and just bawling and crying, because it was just not a news that we were expecting. Definitely not something that I thought I would be going through, even though like it's something that a lot of military spouses go through. So the thing that is just very upsetting and has had me feeling like this is because Miguel is not going to be around for our child's birth. He has to do some sort of training during that time, and because of it, he will not be there at the birth, which sucks to say the least. Yeah, so he's not going to be around. It's not something that obviously he and I want or wanted, but it's something that has to be done. He signed his life to the army, and you know, for the next couple of years, you know, it's just something that he has to do whether he likes it or not. And I don't know, it's upsetting, and it's like I said, I feel so impotent, and I'm sure he's feeling the same things, because it's not something that he and I can change. And I know that I'm not the first or going to be the last military spouse to be giving birth alone. And it's definitely like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like the worst situation, because I know that there are spouses who have their their husbands overseas. So mine is not in that category, but just knowing that doesn't make it any better, and it definitely doesn't make it any easier. It's definitely taking me time to get used to the idea. It's something that I have to adapt to. Like I said, it's not something that we want, not something that we like, but there's not much that we can do about it. And I know that we can call the Red Cross and inform him and his unit and his commanding officer that I am in labor, and they will inform him of the news and such, but that's not a guarantee that they're going to allow him to come back. Unfortunately, mission comes first, family, like whenever. That's just the way it is. So even though we can call the Red Cross, or I can call the Red Cross and inform him that I'm in labor, it's not something that will guarantee us that he will be able to come back. Especially because we went through the same process last year where his grandmother was passing, and you know, they barely let him come for that. So I'm not going to be holding my breath on that one, just because I don't want to set up an expectation for myself and then that day comes and be disappointed. It's not something that I want to put on myself, and definitely not on him, because there's also that aspect as well. Like, I'm not the only one that's feeling it. He's also feeling it too, in the sense of like, I'm not going to be there for the birth of my son. I'm going to miss that moment. We don't know if they're going to even allow him to come a couple of days early, a couple of weeks early, because there's some service members who have had that opportunity. But then there are other service members who, you know, come hours after the baby is born or days later after the birth. So it's not an ideal situation, especially because I don't know what type of birth I'm going to be having, whether it's a VBAC or a C-section. Their military spouses have recommended me to have a C-section, but knowing the fact that, you know, recovering from a C-section is hard, it's horrible, and I'm going to be having a toddler and not knowing when he's going to be coming back, do I want that scenario for myself? Not really, especially after this. That's not something that I would want. I'm more so inclined, more than ever, to have a VBAC, just because, like I said, I'm going to be at it alone. We are trying to figure out a game plan. We thought about going back home, but it's looking like, if I do that, to be more of a move, you know, taking the cars back there, obviously our clothes and anything that we need, but it's not even just that. It's more of like changing insurance again, finding a provider that is supportive of a VBAC, finding a provider in general, and then just going through all the emotions. It's not something that I want to do in the latter part of my pregnancy. So we're trying to figure out like who can come down here and be with me, help out. And I'm going to be going at it alone, you guys, just because somebody's going to be staying in here with Riley. And then I'm going to be going to the hospital alone. So it's, even if somebody does come here, I'm still going at it alone, you know? And I'm pretty sure, like, obviously it's not the first time the hospital is going to be in that situation. So I am trying to figure out what to do, we both are. And I was also recommended to look into a doula. It's something that I wanted to do with Riley, but I didn't know that my insurance could cover it, or how much of it would cover it, because I was working at the time and it was private insurance. But one of the spouses mentioned on the Facebook group that I am a part of that TRICARE, I think, does cover it. So in 2 weeks when I go in for my 28-week appointment, I am going to bring that up to the doctor and, you know, tell her my situation and let her know or ask her, I should say, if it's a possibility for me to get a doula. How can I go about it? How much does TRICARE pay for it? And what is my out-of-pocket expense for that? And just go from there and figure things out. It's not, like I said, the ideal situation. It's not something, like I said, that I thought personally I would be going through, but here we are. It's not like we can predict these types of things, and you know, it sucks. But I even want to add this too, that even when service members are allowed to come back home for the birth of their child, you have to pay for your flight and your ride back home, which I find to be utterly stupid, but that's just my personal opinion. I do want to mention that I did speak to one of my good friends who's also a military spouse and has been a military spouse a little bit longer than I have. I've only been at it for a year, and honestly, when speaking to her, I was just, you know, I admitted to her that I am feeling super jaded at this situation, at this lifestyle, because they always say, oh, family comes, you know, not first, but like family is very important in the military, this, that, and the third, but then when it comes down to it, it's really not. A lot of people tend to glamorize this lifestyle just because, you know, we get free healthcare, free benefits, things like that, housing, and you get to travel the world, and yeah, those are good perks and stuff, but there's a lot of sacrifices that both the service member and the military spouse goes through. and not necessarily, you know, dying for this country. Most of the time it's missing birthdays, missing births, missing, you know, family events and funerals. Those are the things that a lot of service members and military spouses, you know, have to go through, miss, and not have your spouse around for. It's tough, it's hard, and not a lot of people see that, or they throw around, well, you signed up for it, so you knew what was coming. No, it doesn't work that way. Yes, our service members, our spouses did sign up to join the military, but they did not sign up to miss birthdays, miss their child being born, miss a funeral for a loved one, or any other family event. They didn't sign up for that. It's just something, it's collateral damage, in my opinion, that comes with being in this lifestyle. But speaking with her, like I said, I was being really honest, and I told her that having this news already took a lot of joy from everything, and I was already debating about having a maternity shoot and a baby shower because of COVID and other things, and learning this news just took out the little bit joy that I had in it left. And I was telling her that I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore, because what was the point? He's not going to be around. It seems futile to have it. Her advice to me was, you know, you are entitled to your feelings. You are allowed to feel the way that you are feeling. You just have to learn to, you know, get used to it and adapt, because it's going to be a lifestyle that's the best thing and a coping mechanism that you can have, basically. Learning how to adapt and be resilient. But on top of that, she said, maybe you want to, you know, take some time and think about having the maternity shoot and that, you know, sprinkle or baby shower, just because you don't want to regret anything. And, you know, I am considering it. I don't know so much about the baby shower or the sprinkle or whatever, but definitely the maternity shoot, it's something that I am looking into, because I did it with Riley, and just looking at the pictures, it brings a lot of memories. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely want to have that experience with my son. So it's something that I'm definitely considering. I don't know so much about the baby shower, just because, again, we are in a, you know, surrounded by 4 hotspots: Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida. So I definitely don't want to bring family members down here or friends to, you know, potentially be exposed. Maybe I'll invite some of the other military wives that I've become friends with, and to have like a little brunch here at the house. I don't know per se what's going to happen, but, you know, just speaking with her, it made me feel a lot better to know that it's okay to feel these feelings, just because, again, a lot of people glamorize this life, and, you know, not a lot of people speak on the intricacies and how hard and how difficult it is, not only for the spouse, but also like the service member, you know, herself or himself, like what they have to go through, leaving family and such. So it's definitely something that we are getting used to as a family. We're trying to work out, like I said, trying to come up with a plan that, you know, will put us both at ease, so that we're both at peace and calm, and then when the time comes, you know, we're ready. I don't know if like that makes any sense, but yeah, be ready to face what's going to come. Sorry that the latter part of this video wasn't as cheery or, you know, as happy as most pregnancy updates are, but this is something that is going on in our lives, and it is an update, and it is something that, you know, it's going to affect us. It is affecting us. So I wanted to share that little tidbit with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you guys are enjoying these pregnancy updates as much as I am. filming them and uploading it to YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.